Hey guys, Test Drive here. Thanks for checking out the Call to Lynessa deck. I have been really enjoying the feedback that everyone's been giving. Glad you guys are enjoying it. It seems that people are having fun with it. So wanted to show you this update that I've been working on, and I think it's gonna just help pull it into even more of Lynessa's strengths. So this deck is based around Lynessa Sunsorrow. I believe that she's a really strong control paladin card. I don't think she's gimmicky. I think that she actually, at 7 mana, when you get all of the strong spells a paladin has on her, she becomes a really strong 11-14 style minion, which is great with Divine Shield and Taunt and the Death Rattle for a 2/6 taunt. That's really strong for 7 mana without having to get into the weak spells the paladin has. You know, we can use things such as Potion of Heroism, which gives us the draw a card, which is really important. Also, the Divine Shield helps with early board trades. And in the late game, it scales great because as you have, a large minion trading with your opponent's large minion, all you do is pop the Divine Shield and they lose their minion most of the time. Also, when you play Lynessa, it will proc the draw card for this, so that's really good. We use Spikeridge Steed, which is the second of the 3 strong spells that I think Paladin has available. The 2/6 taunt with the Death Rattle of a 2/6 taunt are really, really strong. The only reason this fell out of meta is because the silence meta has made that less desirable. But with Lynessa, even if your Spikeridge Steeded minion gets silenced, you've still got a brand new Spikeridge Steed that's going to recast when you play your Lynessa, so it still has a lot of value even if they do silence it. Blessing of Kings is such a strong turn 2, 3, 4 play. You oftentimes have like 2/2, 3/3 type minions on the board, and if your opponent gets down a Corridor Creeper or some other large minion that you can't easily deal with, a Tar Creeper for example, you can Blessing of Kings, trade with it, and still have your minion live, where they have to put more resources into trying to destroy it. So it's really strong, and of course is part of what makes Lynessa that really large minion at the end of the game. We use 1 copy of Call to Arms for just defensive minions. We want to try to do a traditional control style paladin cards in here. So we're going to be using things like Doomsayer, which is so strong against early aggro. Also keep in mind Doomsayer combos really well with Potion of Heroism, because at that early stage in the game when they have limited mana, limited wet minions on the board, they may not have enough to deal with that Divine Shield in addition to the 7 health they have to get through. So combos really well with the Potion of Heroism in the early game. Also, through Call to Arms, you can get the Doomsayers along with Dirty Rats to protect them. The Dirty Rats play really good out of hand because, you can either, works well against aggro, or you can pull out important battle cries that can totally disrupt your opponent's strategy. And the other thing is, with this deck now having traditional board clears for Paladin, you can actually deal with their with whatever would come out of their deck. So Dirty Rat has become a very good card in this deck. We have Righteous Protector, which of course also can protect the Doomsayers on either a Call to Arms or just out of hand play. Plus, Righteous Protector is just so good with defense against aggro. Also, you can buff. It's a great target for your buffs, so just really strong card. We run 2 Wild Pyromancers in this deck now, and that's going to, of course, be a part of your Equality combo, which will wipe the entire board. You can also Spikeridge Steed your Pyromancer and just continue to get board clear after board clear. Well, you can ping the board for 1 damage a turn while your Pyromancer ends up with very high health stats because of the Spikeridge Steed. We have Consecration, so you have the board clear against your opponent's side with the Consecration Equality combos. Also, this goes well with the Wild Pyromancer because you can do 3 damage to the opponent's board. We did not run Thalnos in this deck just because we don't want to be drawing Thalnos when we really need defense. That's the only reason Thalnos didn't make it into this deck. Corridor Creepers are so strong after your board clear turn because now you have a 0, well, you should hopefully at some point have a 0 mana 5/5. Here's an example of a strong turn 10 play. They might have a full board. You do You do Pyromancer Equality to destroy the board for 4 mana. You play a 0 mana Corridor Creeper, and you can still Spike Rich Steed on the same turn to now have a 7/11 taunt with Death Rattle 2/6 taunt, which they may not be able to deal with depending on the board state. So really strong card. Stonehill Defenders, Paladin has the best taunts in the game, so Stonehill Defenders do a great job of pulling those really strong Paladin taunts while also giving you a good target for hand buffs, or I'm sorry, for buffs on your spells to your minion, and just also does a really good job getting the way of aggro to slow them down. Outdoor Peacekeepers are a good body at 3 mana for a 3/3, but particularly, with the Corridor meta, there's a lot of 5/5s running around too early in the board state for them. So the Outers really help keep those under control, and I found it to be a really strong card in the deck. Sunkeeper Terrams just offer so much utility. You can clear the board state with your own minions no matter what they have going on. Also, keep in mind, if you have Sunkeeper in hand and you're close to lethal, count out your lethal first by considering your 1/1s as 3/3s, because sometimes that's the difference between getting lethal and not getting lethal. Tyrion Fordring, of course, is such a strong Paladin minion legendary, giving you that tankiness at the end, giving you the 5/3 weapon. Really, really strong late game card. Combo's really good with Zola the Gorgon. You can bounce a copy of your Tyrion or whatever high value minion you have on the board, but the real combo to look for is on 10 mana, you can have a Lynessa in play, hopefully highly procced and just huge, and then you can Zola her on the same turn. And while they're trying to deal with your Lynessa, which hopefully is really difficult for them to do, you have a backup in hand to play Lynessa the next turn as well, which should be really hard for them to deal with. Finally, we round out the deck with Uther the Even Blade. In this meta, I've actually found that this is a very undervalued card, because with the 5 health and the 15 lifesteal available through 3 attacks of his 5/3 weapon, you get the opportunity to take control of board, look for lethal. It takes you out of lethal range on aggro. It takes you out of lethal range specifically on Secret Mage, which is trying to burn you down in the late game. It does a whole lot, and found this to be a very strong card. And don't forget, the 4 Horsemen passive is another win condition. Sometimes you're going to have enough taunts at the end of the game and they've already spent all their defenses, where if you can just kind of turn the board into a stalemate, you can win with this passive as well. So that is the deck, Call to the Lynessa. I really have enjoyed putting this together, and I hope that you enjoy the deck. If you do, please let me know. Give me your feedback. I love to hear how it's going for everyone. And I'm going to put some gameplay now, and I hope you enjoy it. Take care, and talk to you soon.